right. So we're waiting for the Ad Nature Sprint Prize here on ÖTILLÖ 2013, and they should be there any moment. So it will be really excited because there were 3 teams together when we left them. It was Team Nybroviken with the great swimmers, Simon and Rasmus, and then we had Team Head Swimming. That was Björn Einlund and the Canadian guy, Paul.
Yeah.
We call him Canadian Paul.
The great marathoner.
Yes.
Yes. And then it was the last year's winner.
Yeah.
Team Livskvalitet by Ika Hagsätra, Lelle Moberg and Magnus Olander. So I think it will be Team Head Swimming or Ika Hagsätra.
Oh, okay. Then, well, I will keep my thumb crossed or my finger crossed for Lelle Moberg.
Yes.
But we also have some information about their time chip. So if you guys are following them on the tracking thing, we have the service on the internet. You should know that they dropped their
Here's the first pictures from Cut-Off 1. Sorry, Cut-Off
raining.
2. Ad Nature Sprint Prize.
And it's raining.
And our second man on the ground, Johan, is going to tell us what it is all about here.
And there we actually saw a military guy in the background. His name is Jan-Henrik Beck, and he's actually the one. Oh, here we go with the team. Come on. Let's hear some. Johan, let's make some noise.
It's Björn and Paul, Team Head Swimming.
And that's exciting. Now we'll see how much time they will have down to the second group.
Okay, Michael, race director, how's the race going so far?
Johan and Mikkel Lemmel.
We have a little bit of rain at the moment. I don't think anybody complains more than the actual assistant or our staff, you know. We just had the first team, number 9, Team Head pass here, and they won the Ad Nature Sprint Prize. And they're all going towards the south, so I think this is good. A bit of a change coming on.
So are you satisfied with the weather and everything around the course?
Well, I like rain, or I like sun, I mean, but I think the racers like the rain a little bit at the moment. Hopefully it clears up for everybody else too.
So did we just see the winners passing by, or what do you think can happen during the rest of the course?
I don't know yet. It's too early to tell. It's so much that can happen still along the race. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have the second team. It's Lelle and Magnus Olander, last year's winners. And they're just
keeping a steady pace.
Yes, keeping a steady pace. And I think
we don't have any time for
and the swimmers, we're still waiting for the swimmers.
And we don't get an update on the time from this position right now, and I don't know if it's because of the weather, maybe the rain and the electronics doesn't go hand in hand, but we will see later on. At least we see on the pictures that Lelle and Magnus, I actually do think that they are doing a very smart thing here. I think they know their bodies and they know how hard they can pace themselves. Paul, the Canadian guy, he has done was it ute? He's done a qualifying race.
Yes, Kustjagaren down in Karlskrona.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So, and I know that he got tired there. So, and this is at least twice as long. So we will see what will happen. It was just like Mikael Lemmel said. It's too early to say who will win this race, but I'm pretty sure Björn and Paul will be the top 5 today.
And they're going very fast. I think they're about a quarter faster than the fastest team last year at the Nature Sprint Prize.
Yeah, but it can also be because the weather is so nice.
Yes.
You can actually pace yourself harder because it's cooler outside, so your body doesn't get all overheated. And so.
Do we know anything more about the first mixed team and first ladies team?
I don't have them here on Nämnde North. What was the time before? Here we go with the
Simon and
third
Rasmus.
stream, and that's the boys who decided not to carry any fluids with them, and I think they look the most tired of the 3 teams we've seen. They are going a little bit slower, and I think they're actually gonna see that or we are going to see that they actually paced themselves a little too hard in the beginning of the race, and now they have to pull back a little bit, maybe refuel and go a little bit slower.
They have been racing for 3.5 hours, so now it's very important to keep the energy level high.
And it's hard on these long races. I personally could never do what they're doing when you actually eat very seldom. Like, I seriously think that you should eat a little bit all the time so you never drop in energy.
Yes.
Because when you drop, it's so hard to get back what you lost. And I would say it's almost impossible. And if you get the energy back, it will be maybe too late. So it's better just to keep a steady pace, keep a steady intake of energy. Here we have the map, and we see that they're still very well. I mean, if you pull it, go in, zoom in, then you will see that they're further apart. Now it just looks like a green snake on the map. There we go. I see that the first team is actually pulling away. But I would also say that the second team is pulling away from the third. And I do think that the fourth team will pass the head swimmers.
Yes.
I don't know. Did I even have the head swimmers on my top 5?
Yes, you had Paul and Björn, didn't you?
Oh,
Team
Paul
head swimming?
and Björn, yes.
Team head swimming.
Oh, are they the third team? I thought they were the leaders or
Yeah,
the
they're
second.
the leaders. But
oh yeah, no, I
on your
mean
list?
the Sweder. Team 3. I don't have team 3.
Okay, the Nybroviken rib.
No, I don't have them on. So I actually do think that they will fall off the top 5 today.
I think. Okay.
And I think that the adventure racing guys will come up. And
Yes.
fight
What do you
for the
think
top 5.
about Jonas Kolting and Jesper Svensson?
I think they will be a top 5, but I had them on 3rd position, and maybe not, because I see that Team Head Swimming are going way stronger than I thought.
Yes, but they're quite good swimmers, Jonas Kolting and Jesper Svensson.
Absolutely.
And they were the winners of the Amfibiemannen.
Yes.
The qualifier.
But I still see it as if the running, the 20K running that they have in the last 3 hours,
that
if
will
you
be
have,
hard.
that will be the hard
Yes,
part.
Yes.
And that's where I see the other teams around them being stronger, even
Yes.
if they are strong runners and strong swim runners.
Yes.
I think that's where it will hit them.
And there is some parts of the course that people talk more about than others, and the top teams are now soon coming up to a swim stage that's in Swedish called the pig swim because it's so tough and hard and always windy and freezing. And well, they aren't there yet, but maybe in 1 hour or something.
I remember the first time we raced, me and Annie, we were on the girls' team, and Annie actually said that she thought she was going to drown, and we were so cold when we got up from the water. It was horrible, and I know that several teams, maybe not the top teams, but several teams will experience that today. I'm sure of it, because you have low energy, and it's really hard.
Yes, and it's 1,400 meters, and for the teams in the middle of the pack, it's maybe they have been on the course for 6 or 7 hours, so it will be cold anyway. And I also remember the first time we raced that it was, I think if it had been 400 or 500 meters more, I hadn't made it.
They pulled you up as a
Yes.
ice popsicle or something.
So that's a stage on the course that's very demanding and challenging.
Yes, and you remember it.
Yes, you always remember.
You
it, and
remember the pig
the only
swim.
thing you think about when you start the race is when are the pig swim coming up?
Let's just race there as fast as we can.
Yes.
Cool off and then keep on racing.
Yes.
Now it's a very
And another stage that is quite tough. It's the long run on Una.
yes. Because there's even if the running is mostly on, it's even parts on asphalt and it's on road, gravel, stone and such. You don't know how your body is feeling. So if that run would have been earlier on, I don't think that you would have been that. Well, you wouldn't have too much respect for it. Now it's very much, you have so much respect for it, and it's so important because you can do so much with that part of the race if you're not fresh, but if you're freshish, you have energy in the body, and you know you can go hard there, because a lot of other teams will just fall back.
Yes, and on the south of Ornö is also the last cutoff, and it's 6 o'clock. So for the teams that are chasing the clock, Ornö is very, very demanding.
Yes. Yes,
And
it's
then
extremely-
when you put your feet on Ornö, you have run almost. I think you have run a marathon, and you
Mhm.
have 7 or 8K swimming in your body, so it's quite tough. And I think maybe today, if we have more, maybe 2 or 3 top teams entering Ornö at the same time, it will, everything will, anything can happen there.
Mhm.
I think.
Well, I must say there's still no women or a mixed team at Nämndö North, which is the time point or time thing before Ad Nature Sprint Prize. So I guess these top 3 teams now are actually, I think the podium might be ready.
Yes, and this is Team Enervit, KJ, and
And Erik,
Erik.
and they are tight followed by Colting. So I
Yes.
think that they're just
Colting
all
and
together there.
Jesper Svensson. And then I think we soon will see our adventure racers uppe ta med FJS. Filling up energy.
Yes, actually, I think that the adventure racing team and the Be Quick redovisning are Antti Antonov and Marcus Hultgren are supposed to be pretty close together, or maybe they're.
And Jesper, he looked real good.
Mhm.
And Jonas and Jesper were the winners of Amfibiemannen earlier this year.
Yeah, they did really have a great race.
Yes. And Jonas knows that he has been a winner for 3 times and have raced all the official races since 2006.
And I think that he did not finish 2 of them, right?
I think, yes, that's right. He
Yes.
has either he has been
Injury. Last year it was an
Yes,
injury, but
yes.
this year I think that he's pretty fit, actually.
Yes, I think
that
it's
his body is responding well now. And usually that's what happens, you get injured. At least these top athletes, they
Yes.
get injured, and then they have to rehab for a year or more, and then.
Here is Marcus Hultgren and Antti Antonov, Be Quick redovisning, and they're very experienced racing ÖTILLÖ. They have done it several times, and Antti Antonov has, together with Björn Englund, the course record.
Yes.
And Marcus Hultgren was last year or the year before, he was on 4th place.
But they never raced together. I
No,
should
never
say.
So together. So this is first time for them.
But they're a great combo. I
Yes.
think they can.
And I think they will just run and swim better and better the longer the race is.
Yes.
There is Michael Lemmel eating.
Yes, it's cold, and all the ones that are working with this needs to.
And Marcus is qualified to Hawaii, Ironman Hawaii this
Mhm.
year. So wonder where FGS is.
And you see that they just come down here and then they do a turnaround, so they actually do a bit of the course. They do the same way back up to the course when it starts again. And there we have Joya Bushian, our man on the ground. Yes, I'm a little bit surprised, actually. I thought
Yes.
that the FGS guys were going to be a little bit closer this time than last time. I
They should be.
think they had about 2.5 minutes in between them, and I thought maybe 1 minute now, but I guess not. I can now tell you that on Nämde North, which was the time before where we just were, the first mix team, Team Freddan and Ankan, has passed through. So, and I think that they are just gonna go hard. And Annika and brother and sister Freshwater, who are I think in third place in the mix category now, and then you have the second mix team is Björn Rosenthal and Marika Wagner. I don't think that they can catch the leaders.
Yes, and I think this is Johan and Daniel.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. So maybe they caught up a little bit, but not enough.
But I know they hate running on gravel and asphalt. Daniel never runs. He only runs on the off trail and trail. And Johan Hasselmark, the first guy, he was this summer. He was second at the Keltman Extreme Ironman in Scotland.
Okay.
So he's quite good shape this year, I think.
Because when you talk to them, they said that their shape was so and so, but you never really know.
No.
And if you're venture racing, I think that you're always in good shape, but then you have days that are rougher than the others. So I think that you should definitely count them in.
Johan wrote to me that it would be good if the team had two Daniels. He said to me.
Oh. But now they don't.
No, they don't. Yes.
Two different bars, and I mean that's the thing with the racing in a team too, is that when the other or your partner gets tired, you try to push them and tell them great things, and if you get tired, hopefully that person will do the same to you. So because in 9 hours everyone will have a dip at some point. You can't be fresh the whole 9 hours. That's just weird.
Yes. And as you speak about this with that you race in a team, I know that next year we will have a new swimrun competition here in Sweden, in Skåne, south of Sweden, called the Sea Dragon, and there maybe they will have a single class.
Yes.
So that's quite interesting.
That's interesting, but that can't be too long then.
No, I think it's quite long. It's
okay, because the whole thing with doing a pair thing here, first off, it's for security.
Yes.
If something happens to you, you're never alone. So and you're on these islands, it's hard to get to you. If something happens and you're way off somewhere where there's no trail, it's hard to get help, even if you're two. It could be a problem, but you should never be left alone.
I think they will have the course around an island, so they have full control.
Yes.
So it's not the A to B like this race.
No.
ÖTILLÖ. It will be very interesting. Here we have a new team.
Number
It's
65.
65. Top 10, I think.
Team number 8 coming into the
Top 10, that's
yes.
correct.
energy station here.
And they have been climbing a little bit then. They were 9 at the last time.
How's it going?
And now they're 7, so they must have...
8th position.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Our
Maybe,
team
yeah,
is
they
top 10, so it's right according to plan.
Are you the strongest guy in your team?
Physically, but he's stronger mentally.
So this is team number 8 in for the energy station, and of course having some energy bars and having some drinks and lots of drinks actually, and moving very fast in this station. And I can hear that they are wearing studs as the rain starts to kind of intense. They would need studs to prevent from falling on the rocks. We will have a lot of teams coming in here in this energy station, the Ad Nature Sprint Prize, and yeah, people are feeling strong, and hopefully we'll have some more chats by the time they get here.
Okay, great. 8 teams has arrived to the second sprint prize. And here's team Seglarhotellet Sandhamn, last year 5th place, with Jonas Andersson and Staffan Björklund.
Team number 5 coming in. And which is team Sandhamn Seglarhotellet. How's it going?
It's okay. It's tough. As usual.
What are you eating? What's those pills?
Koffeintabletter. Coffee like coffee. Fast in pills.
And who's the strongest guys here?
Ja, it's me.
Always Jonas.
Is he pulling you?
Always pulling me.
In the water and on the run?
In the water, I'm pulling the road.
You look very strong anyway, so some coffee and pills, and that line is attached, and on we go. Ska vi stå här istället eller hur vill vi?
That was Jesper Andersson, the man in the purple jacket, one of the Andersson brothers,
Yes.
who invented all this.
Exactly. He was the drunk one.
Yes, he was the drunk one, and he has been racing for 6 times, I think. His brother is racing today and has raced all the races, but Jesper has an injury.
Yes.
But he's always on the course and cheering for the competitors. And we saw the team Seglarhotellet Sandhamn with Staffan Björklund and Jonas Andersson. And Staffan is a very strong runner, as we saw.
Yes.
And they were here in the spring, winning ÖTILLÖ Swimrun. And I know their aim for today is the 9:30 mark.
Oh. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some report here from the live board. As you can see, Team Head Swimming is pulling away from Team Livskvalitet by Ika Hagsätra. It's up to 1 minute 25 seconds, and we can see that the swimmers, the super swimmers from Nybroviken, Simon and Rasmus, are dropping back now for 5 minutes and 13 seconds, and that's a lot in a very short amount of time. So I think that maybe they have to throw in their towel now. I don't think that they can recover from this, and maybe if they come back next year, they will have a camelback or something that they can carry on some energy and water, because I don't think that you can pace yourself that hard without actually putting in something into your engine.
Yes. But what did you say was there is 1.5 minute between first and second team?
Yes.
And the race has been on for almost 4 hours now, and well, it's still 5 hours left, so anything can happen.
Yes, but still, if you're starting to get tired at this point,
Yes, I think they won't make it.
Team Nybroviken, I think that's a hard task to do. But absolutely for Magnus and Lelle, if they're just pacing themselves as they know to, 1.5 minutes is nothing.
No.
Really, nothing. And actually they were further back. They were almost 2 minutes behind if their time chip is correct, which we don't really know. We just know that there was something wrong with it. So.
And we know that Paul is a real good runner and has done. He has representing Canada in ITU triathlon, but we don't really know how good he is in longer runs, like this 8 or 9 hours. Yeah. So it will be very interesting to see further on. And Magnus and Lelle, they have raced. They are the winners from last year, so they know exactly, I think,
what they're doing
right now. And know where they are strong and where they have their weak spots.
Also, I have the top 10 here, and I can see that there are more and more time in between each team. There's just a team on 4th and 5th place. are sticking together. That's Erik and Koji, and Jonas Kolting and his partner Jesper Svensson. They are sticking together, but then otherwise they're getting about 1 to 2 minutes gaps in between every team. So I think they're actually spreading out now.
Yes.
And if they just keep themselves together, this might actually be the top 10. Maybe they will be changing some positions within the top 10. But I don't think too much will happen from the others.
Yes. And I said before that we saw Jesper Andersson, one of the Andersson brothers, and I hope we can speak to him soon and hear the real story about ÖTILLÖ. He said to me, yes, now we have pictures. Jesper said to me before that everything started with a napkin.
Do you have that napkin somewhere?
Here is Micke Lemmel, the race director, and you see Jesper.
Jesper, one of the founders of this race, 10 years ago it all started. And I was thinking to get a chat with Jesper. Jesper, tell us about the history of ÖTILLÖ.
Well, the history is quite changing, because it started as a fun race between friends where we decided that we were bored, and we decided to try to get from Ute to Sandhamn, just running and swimming, and the last person to get there, the last team, would pick up the bill, which was actually bad, because it turned out only 2 teams were prepared to take that risk. The others, they pulled out. So the second year we did it more of a fun thing to do together. We decided that we'd pick up our own bill, so nobody will have a problem with their economics. But then Mats and Micke came along, just as a strange story, because they heard it from a person who heard it from a person, and they contacted us and said, you have to tell us, this sounds amazing. So we spent the summer here running the course and made a race.
And how long did it take you the first time?
Well, I think it took us, we moved for 24 hours, but 29 in total. We slept under a pine tree. So.
And but it was a serious, you did have a swimsuit on, you did have paddles and fins and stuff for the first time?
We had everything. We knew nothing and had everything. So we brought food and sleeping bags, because we knew we were going to sleep somewhere, and we brought our party clothes. At least some of us, some threw them away and bought new ones. It wasn't us, and so we brought a lot of gear, and we trailed a big waterproof bag behind us, and it took very long time.
And nowadays you're still competing some years. I know you're injured now.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been competing every year, but the last 2 races I've had some knee problems due to some accidents. So, but I'll be back next year for sure.
And the last time you competed, what time did you close the course then?
11 hours 30 minutes, I think.
So something have happened during the year. You don't bring party clothes on the course anymore.
At the beginning, we understood that we can't run and we can't swim, so we have to be fast in the other sections, which is transections. And I think what happens the last maybe 2 or 3 years, that most participators have understood that it's actually a triathlon. You run, you swim, and there's changes between those. The first years, for instance, when we talked to Kolting, which beat us by 10 minutes, and he was really frustrated, and we did some maths, and we figured out that he had sat on his back for 4.5 hours. So he actually ran 4.5 hours faster than us, but almost got beaten anyway. And nowadays, everybody knew that you have to move all the time. You have to adapt your equipment so that you don't have any forced stops when you have to fix your equipment. The next thing that people need to learn is that when you need to take your wetsuit down, you do it running. I still see a lot of people stopping when they come to shore, and they stop and fix their gear. That makes you lose time. So you need to be more adapted in that way.
Still, there are teams that are choosing fins. Some choose fins, and it's getting more and more popular. But they still have some trouble. It takes time when they exit and into the water. What do you think about that?
I think that the only ones that can take advantage of fins over this long period of time is fin swimmers. For instance, those that we just saw coming in here, the guns and dentists, which are actually fin swimmers. Because I know a lot of people, even triathletes, which are supposed to be good swimmers, they say, we tried fins and it's faster. Well, for how long? Because in the beginning I couldn't swim, so I used fins. And those are great for the first stretches. But once you run for a couple of hours, you can't even you can't even put any pressure on your fins because you cramp out. So I think the way to go for most people is to use your arms in the water and your legs on land, and in the between you rest the other, because it's a long stretch.
And how many teams do you think will finish today?
Well, I think there will be more teams than last year, because of course more teams understand that you have to adapt. But this year we'll see, because we have half of the spots were on merits or from other races, and half teams were from the draw. And among those runners, you're going to have some that really didn't understand what they were getting into, and some of those won't finish. But since half the teams are on the merits, they should finish at least, and then maybe half of the other teams. So it should be a couple of teams more.
Yeah, we were talking about that. It's actually a great day for the swimmers and the runners, of course. A bit overcast, cloudy, not that warm, and no waves.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's too warm in the water and there's no waves. This will make for a very fast race. Of course, the rain that we just had will slow especially the triathletes in the woods, because it gets slippery and they're not really used to that. But apart from that, it's a good day for fast running. And of course, the overcast makes you not overheat. It's bad for media because it's not as much nice pictures, but the runners are loving it. It's great.
Yeah, with those words, we'll leave it over to you guys in the studio.
Bra.
Welcome back.
We're just partying here.
ÖTILLÖ, the 8th edition, and we are 4 hours into the race, and the top 7 or 8 teams have just been passing south of Nämndö.
No,
Mörtö. And they're racing fast today.
Yes, well, we have to pick up the Antti Antonov and Marcus Hultgren, who are doing a terrific job on the course today. Be quick redovisning. They have number 2 on the on the race bib. So, I mean, of course, they are good, but they never raced together, and they are doing a terrific job, and they are climbing up towards top 5. I would say they are on the 6th position right now, but I do believe that they are going very strong, and even if they're not closing in on the top 2 teams, they are definitely closing in on the rest of the teams within the top 5. So it's going to be exciting to see what they can do now when we are 1 hour in on the mid portion of ÖTILLÖ.
Yes.
At noon, it's 2 hours left before they close at the second second cutoff.
Yes.
And
And the top teams are well, they're soon on Murte, and that's a trail run for 3.6 Ks. And we have been looking on the course record right now is 9 hours and 7 minutes. And if you compare to last year, they're a quarter faster.
15 minutes
Yes,
faster,
15
which
minutes.
is a lot.
Yes, and 9 hours is some kind of magical limit.
Yes.
For I know Björn Englund, for example, is he really wants to get under that.
And for the strong runners, well, now they only have like 200 meters of swimming, and then they have the 3.6 K of running, and then 90 meters of swimming, 80 meters running, 60 meters of swimming, and 490. So it's very chopped right now. So if you have Finns, that will just slow you down. The ones who just keep on running, swimming, running, they will be the one who benefits on this part of the course.
And this is pictures from cutoff 2, and this cutoff will close at 12 o'clock, so there is 2 hours left, and I think most of the teams will make this. It will be hard for the last teams at cutoff 1 to reach the cutoff 2 in time.
I think there's almost 15 teams now passing by the Ad Nature Sprint Prize, which is the second cutoff. So you can see that the field is really dragging out right now. It will take more and more time at each point. So only 11 teams are registered, and then at Nämde South we have 8 teams that have passed right now, as what we know.
Yes.
And then I'm pretty sure that within the top 10 you will have about 25 minutes.
Yes.
From the first one to the 10th team, so that is a lot of time. On Mörte South we only have registered 1 team passing by, but we hope that Lelle Moberg and Magnus Olander soon will be there as well.
Yes, and we're waiting for the first women and mixed team.
Yes, to enter the Ad Nature Sprint Prize there,
and
absolutely. We know that Team Freddan and Ankan were at the 18th, or were the 18th team at Nämde North, and the women's team, Papetes, was just behind them there. So that's exciting that the mixed team and the women's team are sticking together.
Yes, and Papetes with Lotta Nilsson and Bibben Nordblom, it's the mother and daughter, so it's pretty cool. I think that they're racing together and is in the lead. It's very good. And then we have the brothers and sisters, Annika and Fredrik Åström in the mixed team, last year's winner.
I think they're at the 3rd position right now.
3rd position in the mixed.
But we also know that they are stronger the longer.
Yes.
So
stronger the longer. They're Ironman triathletes, and Annika has qualified for Ironman Hawaii in her age group.
Yes,
50
the same.
to 54 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the same with Bibben on the girls' team or the women's team. She has qualified for the, I think it's age group 19th to 24.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I think that's it. So we have some athletes that are going over to Hawaii after this race.
Yes. Is it a good warm-up?
I don't know. I question myself, if you really want to do well in Hawaii, I wouldn't do ÖTILLÖ. I wouldn't. But that's just me.
That's just you. Yes, and the top field is soon they will face the pig swim, 1400 meters from Mörte Klobb to Kvinnholmen, and it's a tough swim. We have said it before, but it's real tough. I think it's tough even for the top swimmers. and top
But
teams.
I do know that the Guns and Dentists are looking forward to it.
Yes.
Because they have fans.
Yes.
But I don't think anyone else will look forward to it. And after that swim, do we have any long swims left after that?
Yes, it's you have a shorter swim after that, and then you will have
Yes, we do have a 900
yes,
or
970
almost
meters.
yeah, almost 1,000 meters.
Yes.
But after that, the swims are very short.
Yes. Yes.
So that's when you want to not have fins and just do the running.
And on the map you see up north there is Murteklobb, and then you see a blue long line. It's the 1,400 meters pig swim, and then you have a trail run 2.5 k down to cutoff 3, and
So they actually should have a side wind on the pig swim.
yes, and
That's not so fun.
no. It always waves there.
Yes, but still, I mean,
Yes.
because on the other one, on the other swims, they will actually have the wind in the back because it's coming from north. So it's not very windy. It's just a light breeze, and there will be showers. I'm just looking, refreshing the weather forecast.
Yes. And earlier we saw Jesper Andersson, one of the brothers that invented ÖTILLÖ, and it all started. We had our napkin here from Ute Värdshus, and Jesper told me that it all started with when they hanging out night here and had a lot of drinks, and someone saw this napkin and say, "Oh, maybe you can go from Ute to Sandhamn." And
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. And everyone just, no, it's impossible. But then Jesper and his brother Mats challenged Anders Malm, which is the owner of Ute Värdshus here, and a friend to him. And then 1.5 months later, they did it, as Jesper told you.
You should never say that anything is impossible when
No.
you're drunk, because then it's all becomes a bet, and then you really have to prove yourself. Well, we can see that on Mörter South we only have one team that have passed that point. We are waiting for the chasers.
Yes.
But
And I
then-
think it will still be Lelle and Magnus who is in the second place.
Yes. The question is, who is third?
Yes. We think that Simon and Rasmus, real good swimmers, but they're not quite as good runners as they swim, and they don't carry their energy. So we think maybe they will lose a bit.
What do you think about the equipment between these top 5 teams? We just touched upon that Simon and Rasmus doesn't carry their own fluid with them. The other
Yeah.
teams do.
Yes.
The
And,
wetsuits are pretty much the same.
Yes, but we saw that KJ had this waterproof bag, and where I think he put his shoes in.
Both his and Eric's shoes.
He does both.
mhm.
Yes. So that's I don't think no other of these top teams
No.
use these kind of waterproof bags, but I think they will only do it on the longer swims.
Yes, definitely.
Not to lose too much time.
Mhm.
Then I know today it's quite common that you have all your equipment under your wetsuit, and it was the adventure racers, Johan and Daniel, that started to have it like that. And now we have pictures from Murteklobb, I think. And this is
Hard running.
yes.
Hard running up there.
And Murteklobb is the last run before the pig swim. And here is our second man on the ground, Johan. Well, so we're waiting for
and that was our drunk cameraman. He fell.
We're waiting for the swim runners to start the pig swim.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting. And they will. Here we have Johan.
And then we go with the team. Who do you think it is?
I think it's
I
Björn
see
and
pedals.
Paul.
Yes, I see
Yes,
pedals.
it's Björn
So
and
it's
Paul.
Björn and Paul. Hopefully we will have a not jumping picture.
All right. Vi är vid södra änden på Mörte Kobb och Team Head Swimming med Björn Englund och Paul Kroschak är precis på väg att... Sorry about the Swedish, just forgot that we have an English crowd here. We are at the south side of Mörte Kobb, and Paul Kroschak and Björn Englund from Team Head Swimming just enters the water and start what we call normally the pig swim. It's a long and cold swim with a lot of stream, so it's a rather difficult one normally, but this year it seems like the wind is pretty calm and the weather as well, so it might not be as piggy as normal. Björn and Paul was just a few minutes ahead of
Okay, first team on the pig swim.
Yes.
Yes.
And first a little bit in Swedish, and then we go back to English. It's great. Yeah. So
Björn
it
and
looks
Paul.
like
Yes.
like they're pulling away. I see here on the leaderboard that Magnus and Lelle. They're 3 minutes behind now, which I hope they can do something about now when it becomes more swimming. I'm sure they're better swimmers than Björn and Paul.
Yes.
And then Simon and Rasmus are still at number 3, but really dropping back 7 minutes now. And Team Enervit is still on the 4th place, but also catching in on the 3rd team. So absolutely. But the ones who are doing a great job is Antti Antonov and Marcus Hultgren. They are just fierce today.
And I think they're very experienced from ÖTILLÖ, so I think, as we said before, they will just get better and better the longer the race it is. And Antti Antonov also has the course record together with Björn Englund.
Yes, he knows what he's getting himself into.
Yes. So
great.
it's we haven't. Do we know about the first mixed team or women team?
Not since no, it's 17 teams at Nature Sprint Prize, but they should be coming in right after these teams are just passed.
So maybe we can have pictures from Ad Nature Sprint Prize here, waiting for the first women and mixed team.
Josefin, va?
This is.
Maybe she needed a toothbrush.
We're back in the studio and our sofa.
Yes.
Yes. Waiting for the first women team and the first mixed team at the Nature Sprint Prize. Cut off 2. And I think it will still be, well, there is Bibben and Lotta, the first women team, Papeteas, they don't have so many other teams chasing them. But the mixed class is very interesting with I think there will be 3 or 4 teams that can battle each other for the first place.
Yeah, it might be. It depends on how well Freddan and Ankan has pace themselves and how much energy they're putting in. I can see here that the adventure competitors, Daniel and Johan, are closing in on Jonas Kolting and Jesper Svensson. So there will be a battle about the top 6 as well, I think. It towards the end. But a lot can change now during the pig swim, and it will be great to see what happens after that swim. They only have a super short run on Kvinneholmen, but how is the terrain there?
It's very tough.
It's very
Yes,
tough.
it's
Those
very tough.
430 minutes
Yes,
are
it's
tough.
just up and downs and off trail. Then you have 60 meters. It's not like a swim. You just walk over it with
That's
the water up to your
thighs, maybe.
thighs, or maybe more. And then you have after that it's 2.5 k's of trail, off trail, single track running down to the Red Bull station at cutoff 3. And after that it's a short swim, and then you have a very tough run for 1.7k, and then it's the last long swim after that.
Yes.
And then it's almost, after that it's almost only running and short swims. So if you're a strong runner, a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, after the 970 meters swim, just as you said, it's very much running, especially when you get on to Urna, where you have 20 k's, where a lot of things will happen.
Yes. Then we're, for the top teams, 5 or 5.5 hours into the race, so then it's also a question about nutrition.
Yes.
I think it will be quite hard today, and I think we know who's the winning team. I think it's when we're here, when we see the first team here at ÖTILLÖ.
Yes, it's very hard. So we have 62 teams that have passed Nämnden North. And there should be at least 100, 110 teams maybe out on the course still. But as we said, we keep repeating that this race almost starts around now.
Yes.
When you have been doing it for 4 or 5 hours, that's when you will see how this will go today. Because most people will survive 4 or 5 hours, but it's the second half that will really put your body and mind to the test.
Yes. And for the middle of the pack, it's the time will be 12 or 13 hours racing.
Oh yeah.
So it's only the beginning.
And I think that they have set the last cutoff is at 6 o'clock.
Yes, One
and
South.
that's because you don't want them to be out in the water when it's dark, because it's so hard to provide safety. And there's a lot of boats out all day long, just making sure that nothing happens.
Yes, and the last team will arrive here. I think they will put their feet on the ground at ÖTILLÖ at 8 o'clock. And will arrive here at the finish line at 8:20, 8:30 or something. So it's a really long day. Yes, then we will see our second man on the ground, Johan.
All right, I'm just here out in the middle of the pig swim. Just behind me, we got the team head swimming with Björn and Paul. They have an almost 300 to 500 lead to team number, the second team, that is Team Livskvalitet with Lelle and Magnus. So then we haven't seen which is the third team, not here on the track, but we'll see if Team Nybro Weekend still is on the third place. Yeah.
Okay, the pig swim, in the middle of the pig swim with Björn and Paul. And we think maybe that Magnus...
It will be a spin-off.
Yes,
later on.
We have a spin-off on the Swimrun where we have the pig run.
Yeah, the pig run.
Yes, but we think maybe Magnus and Lelle Also, you told me that they're better swimmers. Maybe.
They should be.
Yes.
So yes.
So maybe we will have another leader after the pig swim.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll
Mhm.
see.
And I got some text in from my phone and friends telling me or asking what we think about the background for this type of racing. What's the best background to have? I mean, is it marathon running, or is it to be a swimmer like Annika, or is it to be the adventure
Yes.
racing, or maybe even the triathlon? Then could you use the biking for the long distance? Because it's very hard on your body to do all this running for hours. Could I be on the bike instead for hours just to get the time in, so my body actually adjusts to a long time of work?
What do you think?
Well, I think, because I'm always injured, I never can do the running. I think that the biking is fine. I mean, that's usually what I use. Now I never do this long distance things, but except for ÖTILLÖ.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I remember the year me and Annie did the best. I think I had a lot of 4 and 5 hours bike rides
Yes.
in low pace, nothing hard, but just low pace, and I think my body responded very well on that type of training, because knees, hips, feet, anything, it's very dense to run for 4 hours. You can't really do that. Well, some can, but it's not really normal.
Yeah, I think it's good to be a good swimmer also, because if you're not a good swimmer at all, like me, you should be a quite good runner to keep up the pace.
Mhm.
Because if you're a good swimmer, the swim will what do you say, drain energy
Mhm.
out of you.
Yeah.
So we see in the top list, it's almost only triathletes.
Yeah, you're right. Björn Englund had done some triathlon and,
Yes, and
quite well. And Paul,
yeah, Paul.
and Magnus Olander. Do you know about
Yes,
his background?
Magnus. He's a runner from the beginning. Then he started competing in triathlon, and he was at 6th place nationals
Mm.
this
Very
year.
nice.
Yes, and the only guys in the top right now, it's who isn't triathletes. It's FES, the adventure races. Now Johan Hasselmark has done Keltman, but it's more like an extreme triathlon.
Yeah, no. So I guess triathletes are
It's good. Yes.
beneficial in this competition. But also, I was thinking of the part with the swimming. It's very nice to not be threatened by the water, because it's open water and you never know how wavy it's going to be, or if it's currencies and what's going to happen in the water. So if you just feel like you don't have to be the best of swimmers. I mean, no one is like Simon and Rasmus. They are just outstanding swimmers. But I mean, if you at least know that you don't have to fear for your life, you're going to be fine.
Yes. Then you have, if you look at the running, I think it's also good to, if we speak about training before the race, for maybe more for the amateurs. It's good to have train a lot of trail running, so you have used your muscles to the it's different to run trail than gravel and asphalt.
Absolutely. And also some people do a lot of downhill running, because the thighs and the knees needs to do that work before you come here, because the running here is very different from other running. You can see on the board behind us that it's not on the road.
No, it's not on the road.
And there's no asphalt.
We have, I think it's 2 Ks of asphalt out of 65 Ks of running. So
doing the 10K in maybe 32 minutes won't do you that much here.
No.
It's better to be a strong runner.
Yes. And another thing that I think it's important to train before is to train as a team and race as a team. Everyone says that it's important to be fast in and out of the water.
And it's also a stress. It's a stress thing when you get out and in of the water. If you feel other teams around you passing you when you get up or into the water, it's always stressing.
Yes.
So it's better to just be fast all over. Maybe we should ask for a map.
Maybe we have some.
Do you have a map or something we can watch?
I think that.
We can use the napkin.
Yes, we can use our napkin. You see the pig swim and then the run on Mörtebundsö in the middle of the map. And then you have the last long swim.
Oh, okay. So it's actually the last long swim that they will have the wind from the side.
Yes.
Yes. So the pig swim will actually not be that bad as I thought.
Yes.
It will be okay.
And then after the last long swim here, it's like we said, a lot of running. And only short swims left. I think the longest swim left after that is 350 meters, and that's a swim that comes after the owner run. And the runs we see in the middle of the map, we see Mörtebundsö and Kymmenebundsö, and that's a lot of hard trail running there. Okay, and we're trying to get an interview right now from Cutoff 2 with last year's winners mixed class, and if we have the right information, they have aborted the race, and that's sad.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
It's Annika, and it's brother and sister freshwater.
Yeah, we hope they're not injured.
Yes. But maybe it's the wise thing to do, because if it's not feeling good and Annika is going to go to Hawaii and do the Ironman, this might be
Yes, absolutely.
A wise decision from her.
And you can't race sick or injured.
No.
So.
No, it's too hard. So we have, no, that wasn't 46, was it? The Germans? No.
Our friend from Germany.
Our friends from Germany. It's hard sometimes to see the number passing by.
Yes, we're waiting for the interview, and what's up in the mixed class then? Then we have Björn Rosenthal and Marika Wagner.
But they are on the second place. And they were ahead of Team Freshwater.
Yes, and then we have the leaders in the mixed class, Annika and Freddan.
Yes. Eller Ankan.
Ankan and Freddan.
And let me see real quick on...
Now we see Fredrik Åström and Annika Åström.
Trea. Men vi var tajta där. Ja, vi låg ju med 1-2 länge, sen tappa. Varsågoda och kör då. Det är på engelska.
Team brothers and sisters, not making it from here in this Nature Sprint Prize. What are your feelings right now?
Well, I'm not so happy. I'm feeling strong, so I want to go. But we're a team, so just have to keep together. And so my brother is smiling right now, but he's sick. Yeah.
Tell us what's going on.
I know my sister is very disappointed in me and very sorry for this, but I have been more or less sick 1 week before, and every day I thought, okay, today it's okay, and so it was a bit of a gambling, I felt quite strong first swim, first run, but then in Rundmarö when we tucked in the string, I just felt that no, it's not my day today. This will not go well. So work out. So well, it's
Well, you are the defending champions, as we can see, but I know, Annika, also you have qualified for Hawaii in a couple of weeks, so give a smile to that. You will go there.
Now I can rest and not be so tired for that. So
I tried to say that to her. That's the positive. Now she's fresh
that's
for
positive.
for Kona. So.
But you were in third position. Did you have a chance on the teams ahead?
Yes, we had just 8 minutes. I think we were
A
behind them.
a normal day, I think we would be ahead.
We're strong running at
yeah.
Kona, so and the long swim now it's okay for us too. So I don't know, maybe not. But I felt strong today, but that's how it is.
Yeah, luckily he's your brother, so you can beat him up without have any conscience about that.
She wants to.
Yeah, he knows I want to beat him up right now, but. No.
Okay, take care of each other, and good luck in Kona, Annika, and get well and get home and get some rest.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And we'll leave over to you guys back in the studio. Hopefully you guys have a nice warm sofa there. Ooh.
Yes, Joy, we're back.
In our cozy sofa.
It's very good.
Yeah, but it's very sad for Annika and her brother. They were actually at fourth position when the next time came in, so we don't know when they decided to not finish, because sometimes you decide that in between the timing. So we don't know, but it's really sad because they are a very, very good team, and they were the last year's winners. So
Yes.
of course you always want them to try to defend their position. But right now, then we have in the mixed class we have Team Fredan and Ankan on the first place, where they have been for pretty much the whole thing. And on second place we have Team Adeptic, who's Björn Rosenthal and Marika Wagner. And on the third team we have Erika Rosenbaum and Thomas Vogander. So that's the top three right now in the mixed class. And just as Annika and Fredrik said that, Fredrik said that she has to think about Kona and Hawaii Ironman, and that this is actually a good thing for her to be fresh for that race.
Great.
Refocus, Annika. Refocus.
Yes. And I think we can have a battle in the mixed class, because I know Björn Rosenthal and Marika Wagner, they're quite good runners.
Yeah.
Yes.
You never know.
So everything will happen after the pig swim.
Yes.
And I think maybe, do we know if we have the first team up from the pig swim?
No,
it's
not
too short.
Yeah, not right now. Anyways, they will come up on Kvinnoholmen.
Yes.
And there they will have a short run, but there is no time from Kvinnoholmen, which is the next time point. We have 12 teams on Mörtö South.
Yes. And we're going to take a short break right now, and go back to Red Bull. Wrong. We go back to Red Bull Energy Station. Okay. We're back in a few minutes.